It's Two Piano
Hello.
Tuesday.
Welcome, everybody. We are so happy to be back with you live. We got a little bit of atmospheric background music for Day of the Dead. And also, this is our performance from our debut recital at Juilliard 20 years ago. Well, not technically, it was November 16, 2002. But it was a magical performance, a magical experience, and largely responsible for why we're talking to you today.
Today, it's true. That concert was so much fun, and our Carnival of the Animals, in fact, featured original narration by the brilliant pianist Orion Weiss. Um, what a fun experience. I currently have a very playful kitty. He's been playing with me for the last hour and has no abatement of energy. I suppose he's, what, 7 months old? This is Wilbur. We also have Wally. How old is your baby now, Liz?
My baby just turned 14 months. So,
Yeah.
similar stages. Yeah, my baby definitely wants to play with me all the time. Uh, and it's great to feel like, I don't know, with sort of new life, you're just reminded of the wonders in the world and constantly almost like looking at things anew. And I felt like that has been the process with looking back at our 20 years together as a duo, almost reflecting, but having new eyes and just a sense of newfound appreciation for everything that we've shared.
Absolutely. I've really been enjoying kind of poring over our former accomplishments and these videos and just I've grown. I'm a different person now, and I watch them, and they feel like completely different events than maybe what I remembered 20 years ago when we were first
Totally.
pulling some of this stuff off.
We're so excited to see people tune in. Hello, Eric from New Zealand. And we've had, some of our favorite fans. Oh, someone from Greensboro, North Carolina. We played there. We loved it. It's just great to see all of you. And that's been one of the joys of doing Two Piano Tuesday. And we apologize again for last week's unexpected outage. Facebook had a site-wide outage, and it just sort of stalled our show, and so everyone had to
Thankfully,
go to YouTube.
Yeah, thankfully we were all simultaneously broadcasting to YouTube, which did not have a power outage, or not power outage, but site-wide outage. So the entire video is there on YouTube. I'm going to share the link with everyone in case you're interested. But
Hi,
that will be
Jen.
the way to watch it.
Hello, Chris
Yes,
from Virginia. It's great to see old and new
familiar
faces
faces. Yes.
with names.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, from the Philippines. It's amazing. Yeah, so that check out that link if you missed last week, or if for some reason you weren't able to get onto YouTube. You can review part one of our 20th anniversary celebration. Today is part two, and so it looks like you've got a celebratory
One of our
cocktail.
students.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, I have a celebratory student. Sorry, celebratory cocktail. This one, Liz. Remember at the Clyburn this year, we met with Samantha Pollock, and she
Yes.
and I. She works at the Kennedy Center, but we talked about our love affair of cocktails, and she gave me some of her homemade horseradish vodka. I used
Whoa.
that up, but I followed her exact recipe and thought I would make it today to partake in the toast.
Well, she is quite the mixologist, so
This is a
cheers to you.
horseradish martini.
Yes, and cheers to all of you watching. I just have actually grape juice, but in a fancy wine glass that makes me feel fancy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you still have
cheers.
a baby looking after you.
Mhm. Yep.
Mm.
Well, we
Okay.
hope all of you have your favorite drink. It's probably getting autumnal and chilly. So I don't know if you have some hot apple cider or tea, but hello from everybody.
Oh, yes, Rick Stelz. Stelz
Hi.
Clan watching. I love it. I love it. Thank you all. Oh, what's with the late night Greg? He looks like he's in a police interrogation room. Well, you're stuck with it today. Under
What
interrogation.
crimes what crimes have you committed, Greg?
I think it's actually going to be easier next week. The problem we've been facing is it's like daylight, and when we start the show, and then by the time we're done, it's nighttime,
Yes,
and
we're
so
on
we
the
kind of
West
got to
Coast. Yeah,
strange lighting to accommodate. But next week, after
exactly. Oh,
daylight savings, it's just going to be dark. All right.
bonjour,
Yeah.
Alexandre from France.
Oh,
It's
welcome.
lovely to see you. it's great to see people who are joining in all
Yeah.
across the world. So whether you're in the States or abroad, we love all of you, and we hope to see you live. But in the meantime, we're here.
Yeah.
We're
Let's start this show. We have a countdown of our top 20 favorite music videos. For those of you who missed last week, we shared videos 20 through, was it 16? And this
16.
week we're gonna hit 15 to 11. And it was Liz and I. We had an Excel document. We rated all the videos. We watched them all, and came up with this list. Uh, and it's not necessarily your favorite videos; these are our favorite videos. Because we
So
know
we're
that
being selfish this time.
we're being selfish. We know that you can watch the videos, or you show your appreciation through view counts. But
Yeah.
there are a few of these videos that haven't been watched as much, but we really do. We're really proud of them, and we want to share them. So, if you, while watching any of these videos today, enjoy them, please feel free to share them. We'll include the links in the comments as we go.
Okay. Are we ready to go for
Yeah,
number 15?
I think we are. Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. All right. It is
Ooh.
our YouTube comments featuring Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. This one makes me laugh because it was one of the most hilarious shoots. It was also one of the most ambitious ones because we were essentially making a commentary, a satire about the comments that you see on YouTube. People who are making comments on performances by the great artists of all time and making sometimes not the most lucid and kind and just, I mean, some of them were just so entertaining. We had to take them.
Yeah, I remember we spent like a week just poring over people's comments on performances by Horowitz and Martha Argerich and Edwin Fischer, and just, our jaws were on the floor with some of these, and we had thousands of comments we collected, and we kind of whittled it down to our favorites, and then we got to exercise our acting chops, which, were not necessarily our
Acting.
strength.
Yeah.
These characters were so ridiculous that it was kind of a fun exercise. And I think this video is still very relevant today. But maybe should we start watching the video? And
Yeah, we could talk over it. For those of
there,
you who've watched it, hopefully you feel a sort of recognition because, as you were saying, Greg, this still persists now with Twitter and just with any sort of online forum. People are very unfiltered, and oftentimes the conversations aren't very useful and informed.
yeah. Well, here we go. And stream. Yep. Star Warsian beginning here.
Yes. This one's a longer one. So
This video? No, it's.
so
Is it? Maybe it is. 5-6 minutes. That is Liz playing.
I heard the original and Mr. Beethoven used to play it a little bit faster.
I like seeing the original
YouTube?
formatting of YouTube.
Yeah. It looks so different. This is 2007 when we were filming.
Now it's me playing somehow.
It's pretty good. About the only thing is that your playing is a little too fast. I've heard the original, and it doesn't go quite as fast, but other than that, it's really good.
My wife says you play it too slow.
I was.
Say, did you get everything at the hot dish ready for tonight's potluck?
That was my
degree in music at
Minnesota
Edinburgh University and can say he plays it with perfect tempo.
I don't care much about your comments, so please shove it up your asshole. And by the way, your degree doesn't mean to me.
Most intellectual of comments.
Oh, I played this for my grade 10 piano exam, Royal Conservatory Music, and got 85% on it. It's wild.
Literally.
I did hit there accidentally.
You should put more feeling through your fingers. I played for 11 years, so I know how it should sound.
No composer can rival the supremacy of Beethoven, because the Godhead willed him so. His music are heroic. His music are heroic.
Utterly magnificent. It's as though there's a
Our
string
Lieber
being
take
drawn
off.
through this entire
We filmed that
being, and
while
he
we were
follows
filming the
that
Lieber
line
video, right?
like a laser.
All the while allowing his inner musicality to express the unexpressible.
No, we put on those albums.
There are many adjustments I would make, but I'm sure you don't want to be lectured by a 14-year-old. Though I am very good at the piano. Not wanting to boast. LOL.
This is one of my favorites.
This is so bad.
I know.
I hate his interpretations. Too quick and without feeling sometimes. I'm 13 and I can play better than that. Only because I have emotions in it, not just a showing off appeal.
The costume.
I know.
At 108 to 114, you lose your tempo.
Do they think like Horowitz reads these things?
Is it just me? Or does it look like he just smelled a fart at 117?
Trying to do a Periscope.
Dang, he made a very slight mistake at 325 to 326.
She's so good. I would have never expected a woman to play it like this.
And then at 351 to 352. And then
Very good technique, but honestly lacks soul and overflow self-confidence and pride to reach perfection. Apart from that, brilliant.
at 425, he skips a note.
In my opinion, he's overdoing every vibrato and every dynamic process. Everything smells like, look, a great pianist is playing.
No flip phone.
What?
Concert pianists mustn't do that many mistakes.
Totally made a mess out of this whole situation.
So gay.
Why is his sexuality an issue to you?
Because it is an abomination to mankind, you ape.
Why are you calling people names? What did Daddy do to you?
Wow, seems you have a growing on your head. Laughing my f***ing ass off.
Ludicrous. Would you think that the Lord brought you to focus on the amazing gifts he gave this man?
Quoting Christian nonsense about homosexuality is not going to impress people who are far more erudite than you. You should consider bleach consumption. Same to you, swipe. You folks are a bunch of...
This is a true thing that happens. It's not a chain letter. It's kind of scary, but it really works. Paste this message into 3 comments and press Alt 4, and your Christmas name will appear on the screen.
You people talk too much.
Just listen.
That last one dated it a lot.
Because
This thing, yeah.
the chain or the yeah. Wow. So intense.
The funny thing, well, also because the music is so like grave and
Yeah.
dignified. This video reminds me a lot of where we were living at the time. I was living in the Upper West Side.
What did I do it right?
You should consider bleach consumption.
Thanks. I mean, we must have like had buckets of filming all of it.
Don't forget to get cash for the station wagon, okay?
Okay, honey doll. Preparation's ready for tonight.
Don't you worry
The
about it.
hot dish is in the oven. Okay, don't you know? I get nervous every now and then.
Goodness. All right.
Such a play.
video.
That also is like such a remnant of those older videos, the bloopers.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. I mean, there.
But I was saying that it reminds you of where we were at the time. You were studying for your doctorate at Yale. So a lot of the scenes were filmed there
Mhm.
or in New Haven. And then a lot of scenes were filmed in New York because I was living in the Upper West Side then. So I'm getting kind of memories of where we were in our lives at that point. And just being so silly. I mean, can you imagine filming this in the middle of the street and doing those voices? Crazy.
I mean, but that's kind of how we've approached all our videos.
That's
We've
true.
done things equally ridiculous. It's just I feel bad. We're doing a live stream and we have people live commenting, and probably
Well, you
terrifies
guys.
you all.
No,
from
I mean, I feel
commenting.
like
It's hard to say exactly what the criticism is. It's because it's like I really do love engagement from everyone. And think it's like a critical critical part of like the listening experience, and like active listening, active engagement. And I want to encourage pulling ideas and thoughts out of people. It's hard to say where the line gets crossed into comedy and problematic.
Sure. I mean, as you can tell, some of the comments, it's like they heard the original. It's a lot of assumptions are made and a lot of
False knowledge.
judgments too. And so that's one of the things, before we move on, that's one of the things I've noticed in sometimes competition blogs. People get really opinionated, and it's almost like, can you do it better? That's always like the question in the back of my mind. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, it does bring up a lot of issues about the world in which we're presenting music online, and that is for us it's a critical area. I mean, this is why we're devoting these 4 episodes to the music videos. It's a critical way for us to reach a larger audience and to serve our mission to make classical music a relevant and powerful force in society. And one of the reasons we are so extroverted with these videos is to help people like focus on it rather than become embroiled with all the comments or the advertisements or whatever else that is distracting in this virtual world that we live in. But I also think the comments are like one of the best parts of it, because you kind of engage with the audience.
Yeah.
The audience engages with each other in a very intimate way. And yeah.
That's one of the joys of doing Two Piano Tuesdays, interacting with you guys. But
Yes.
don't worry, your comments have all been wonderful. So
Yes, thank
are we
you.
ready for our next video?
Yes,
This
number
is
14.
number 14. All right, here we go. Oblivion. Okay, so we go from one of our oldest videos to a more recent one, filmed actually before we posted it. We filmed it at the end of 2017, but we had so many videos we were cycling through that we didn't post it until Valentine's Day 2017. And this video is sultry, it's very cinematic, and we were actually inspired by film noir when we created the edit for it. We actually considered sort of different filters with the video, but I think what it ended up being is something that feels very evocative and smoky and sultry and mysterious.
Yeah, well, let's start playing it, but we can talk over this one a little bit. It is on the more simple end of things, but I think it's just one of the most visually beautiful. Liz, you're talking about we considered having this be in color when you talked about like the filters and stuff, and we decided that film noir has that smoky sensuality to it. There's a little danger in film noir, or a lot of danger in film noir, but there's often like still this like evocative sensuality about that.
It also has like a timelessness, right? Like this baby could have been filmed in the 40s.
those hand shots, those keys, just like, this one is, we ranked it obviously higher than Libertego at number 20.
This is one of my favorite arrangements that we play.
Yeah.
See, later it gets tricky with some of the inside piano effects, but it's so much fun to play.
My computer stalling, it seems to be. Some jerky playback. There we go. Sorry about all the technical troubles.
Yeah, you've got the link if you want to watch it.
Yes. We filmed this alongside of 3 other videos in one studio here in Los Angeles. We had Steinway send us 2 pianos, and we made use of that facility, filming from a different angle for each video to make it look as if we're in a different space, when in fact we're in the same space for all 5 videos. We're gonna see it a couple more times actually today.
And I need to give a shout out to your husband, Carl, because you did an arrangement for euphonium and piano of this piece, and actually a music video of it. Which is
Wow. Oh yeah. Yes, and you helped film that music video. That was something Carl and I filmed kind of immediately upon dating. He majored in music, and I wrote this arrangement for him on euphonium piano.
So sorry, Carl, I stole your place.
Yeah. The keys just look so good in that, like, high contrast, black and white. Oh. Ooh.
Oblivion.
Yes.
This, as I said, this piece is something I love to perform with you, and I feel like it's pieces like this or music videos like this that confuse the public because it looks very much like we're a couple. So that's another legacy. A part of our legacy is as we put in our Halloween meme that we posted yesterday for Halloween, confusing sexual chemistry. That is a signature element of the Anderson and Rowe piano duo experience.
Yeah, we talked about that last week a little bit, and I've been thinking about it all week, and I don't have concrete answers, but I am still very curious what Generation Z thinks of stuff like this, where it's like, I'm a publicly gay man, but the two of us are just making love on stage together. I mean, the other options aren't much better. We could be siblings, and that's actually what I feel like with you in real life. But like, you don't want to watch siblings get romantic with each other, and we could be married. Well, but that would never happen. But if that were the case, like, there's something almost like, I don't know, would it be like too much to watch a married couple make a video like that?
Like weirdly voyeuristic or something. Like we feel as if we are actors and we can take on the theatrical sort of elements of whatever we're playing. and it gives us so much freedom and flexibility artistically. So that's what
Yeah.
we do in these videos.
Yes. Well, this next video will definitely see us acting once again.
That's right. Okay, are we ready for number 13? This one is a big one. All right, it's Bohemian Rhapsody. And we actually have an entire Two Piano Tuesday episode dedicated to Bohemian Rhapsody. So be sure to check that out since we only have a few minutes per video on this show
On this show.
to get the full scoop.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and start watching it with you, and we'll talk as we go a little bit for this one. This particular video, I mean, it's I definitely am really proud of how it turned out. But the view count hasn't been that of many of our other videos, and I often try and figure out like why do some people like some videos and why not others. I wonder with this one if it's just the fact that we released it in TikTok era.
It's longer, yeah.
It's just, and so this is like a long video, but it also starts so slowly. The first minute and a half, almost 2-3 minutes actually. It's slow to evolve, and if that has something to do with it. People also have, in the comments on YouTube anyway, speaking of YouTube comments, have criticized us for not being in line with the original, saying that maybe we should have followed the original more closely. But as we often say with issues like that, the two of us really, we don't want to waste your time with just a facsimile of the original. We want to bring something new to the table.
So this was also filmed in LA at the Globe Theater, and it was a great venue because we could utilize it for different scenes. And one of the through lines of our music video and the arrangement is this idea of opera music. The original song, Bohemian Rhapsody, comes from the album A Night at the Opera. And Freddie Mercury famously was a huge opera aficionado. And so...
Even recording an album with an opera singer later in life.
That's right. Yeah. So here we're sort of in our regalia, looking very grand and formal. But you'll see there are these characters who are wearing costumes, and they're sort of paying homage to different types of opera. So, like the Wagnerian characters here.
Yeah. The music also is going to start playing heavy into that Wagnerian world. When I was writing this arrangement, spent weeks listening to Wagner operas and trying to figure out what makes Wagner's music tick, and then melding that with this famous song. And so much of it is about the harmonic resolutions that fail to ever resolve, as one might expect. It keeps evading resolution, and so you're going to start hearing that happen.
Oh yes.
Right here. One of my absolute all-time Anderson Rowe favorite shots is about to come up.
Yeah.
We have this camera that literally goes through the piano right here.
So here are our opera buffa costumes, sort of like classical opera.
And in this arrangement, again, we were inspired by the music of Mozart. I think it might be even more. It was Rossini. Rossini's opera buffa style. Also, yeah, as you said, Beethoven. I, in particular, was inspired by the second movement of Opus 31, number 1, or it was number 3. I think Opus 31, number 3, Beethoven's
Number 3, yeah.
Scherzo movement.
Our assistant at the time, Jasmine, did those beautiful calligraphy on the fans.
They're so good. So this rock stage, it's, believe it or not, it's the same setup as the classical portion of this video. It's just we filmed the classical portion looking at the audience, and we filmed the rock portion from the audience looking at the stage.
Yes, Freddie Mercury. Trent. Your platinum hair.
My platinum hair. It's not the only time I've done platinum hair. But my hair's naturally going platinum now, so I don't have to make it happen anymore.
This video was one of the most, or more heavily conceptual for ours. We were very intentional with each section, compositionally, but also cinematically.
Yeah. It is a hard video. Nicole missed the guitar solo a minute ago. We've kind of learned through some of these videos, there are pieces that people are just firmly attached to. And in fact, Liz, I think of the Beatles as this kind of world for you. You love the Beatles music so much that you're afraid to mess with it because it's just perfect as it is. And I think when it comes to Bohemian Rhapsody, people have so many memories and associations with it that they hold it very, very, very close to their heart. And any deviation becomes almost like a criminal aggression to those listeners. And maybe that's one of the reasons it didn't have the view counts of some of our other videos.
Yeah, I think because we were more liberal with how we interpreted the spirit of the song, and also we were actually paying homage to Freddie Mercury's rebelliousness in a way that challenges. If you want a very literal version of it, you're not going to get it through our honoring actually his spirit and his originality. But also I think people are attached to what it sounds like, and also because it does take a while to warm up, and it's a little higher concept in terms of costumes and operatic kind of layers and all that.
Yes, definitely wanted a guitar. I mean,
Yes.
it's like we talk about this all the time with our arrangements. Sometimes there's this moment where it's just like, oh, could we sing in Whale? Like, we did an arrangement of the Belgian composer Jacques Brel,
Jump up.
and like I remember, like, for us, it stimulated a lot of creative energy to write arrangements of his music because he himself didn't quite sing. It was almost like a spitting of words. And it was like hard to emulate that. And so we kind of like tried to capture his essence in a different way. And the same thing with Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like there's no way we can sound like Freddie Mercury singing, and we can't sound like the guitar solos. And so it's like, how do we kind of recapture that energy in a different way? So I remember with that guitar solo, we decided just to write the most virtuosic piano lick imaginable. And then when we filmed it like 10 times in a row, my arms basically locked up and weren't even able to play
like a
anything.
Lisztian kind of passage, because he would have done something like this with the music of his day.
He would have pushed himself. So it's like we couldn't do the guitar solo, which would have been awesome on the guitar, but we wanted to do it on the piano. And then how do we recreate the energy and the feeling of that guitar solo? And so that's always what we're going for.
Yeah, and the text, because the text is so complicated and fantastical for this song. So that also served as a point of inspiration.
It did.
But we're actually going to kind of stay in the same vein, you'll see, for our next video. And this is number 12. Let It Be. And it's funny, you just talked about the Beatles.
I did.
And it's funny because I love this cover. And it goes so far off the original.
But do you remember? We haven't talked about this in years. We talked about what Beatles songs would we ever arrange, and you were quite particular about certain pieces because you personally love them so much. And I mean, Liz, for the audience who's unaware, Liz basically knows every single Beatles song by heart, and can sing all of the lyrics and sit there at the piano and jam to them. And it is such a fun party presence to have Liz there at the piano singing Beatles songs. It's like there's not much that's more beautiful than that.
Thank you.
And it's like so many great memories in that realm. And we were just afraid to touch the Beatles because you just had a particular feeling for each song. And you said to me, I like Let It Be, but like I just don't feel as attached to that, which gave me the permission finally to take a Beatles song that you had your blessing. You still loved it, but you're okay if I fussed with it.
It's a weird thing though, because since we've started playing it, I feel more almost like emotional attachment to Let It Be. Like my husband gifted me tickets to Paul McCartney's show for Mother's Day. So this past May, I saw him live in Oakland, and it was incredible. I mean, talk about a living legend. And when he performed Let It Be, I cried. And I'm even thinking about, we did a cross-country road trip during the pandemic to move, and Let It Be served as the soundtrack to one of the most magical drives in Sedona, Arizona. So for some reason, maybe playing it has given me more of an appreciation for the beauty and the profundity and the message of this song.
I've grown to also love it way more after playing it countless times with you. We've been performing at the end of many of our recitals of late, both immediately before and now after the pandemic. And it just feels like kind of the right way to end our concerts and the right message to send, I don't know, at this messy juncture in life.
Yes, and for context, when you watch this video, we filmed this during the same sessions that we filmed Oblivion, which you watched a couple videos ago. So keep in mind the backdrop looks totally different, and it's the same couple of days.
Well, actually, also the what's it called, a cyclorama, this like kind of white blanket behind us, was where we filmed the middle of Bohemian Rhapsody. With the wacky outfits and the crazy wigs.
And one last comment about where we filmed it. we were actually inspired by the original Let It Be music video with
Yeah.
the lights and sort of the big they filmed it. If you watched Get Back, sort of that the big sound studios that they were rehearsing in, it literally like we kind of imitated the lighting and the feel of that. So it was a direct tribute to
Yes,
the
it
Beatles.
was. Here we're watching you can see it right there.
Even the font.
The font was from the original Let It Be, and the those ombre like colors on the backdrop.
Yep.
That's a part of the video, the original video. I was gonna tell you, Liz, this particular studio where we filmed has since added Cherry Pop, Cherry Soda Studios.
Oh yeah, Cherry Soda Studios.
They've added fancy lighting to the ceiling, so we needed to bring our own. You can see the cords on the ground.
Yeah, we wanted it though to feel casual.
Yeah.
Hence these shots. And also we're trying to give it a slight retro vibe, so I'm wearing this like 1960s mini dress thing. And I suggested a denim shirt because I think it was George. One of the Beatles was wearing a denim shirt during those the Let It Be sessions. So very intentional with the outfits.
You can kind of get a sense between Liz and me, like, of who's pulling what strings. Definitely think outfits. That's like Liz's. Like, I trust her implicitly when it comes to outfits.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So in case you can't tell, there's a strong gospel vibe to our arrangement because the original is sort of inflected with that feeling with the gospel choir and that sort of religious, spiritual energy.
I just keep thinking about these issues because they come up in contemporary society. But like, are we appropriating gospel music? I mean, yes, we are, absolutely, and we're doing our very best to honor it. And we, I hope that it's perceived as like the most respectful of appropriations.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you think about just like the birth of rock and jazz and and all of the elements of sort of music and musical traditions that fold into that, it's sort of similar when you're thinking about transcribing, and we're kind of honoring the multifarious fabric of American or rock music, if you will, because obviously the Beatles were British, but rock and roll, it's a very American kind of musical form. And then obviously blues, like the black like gospel tradition is all like, it's all intermingled there. So
Absolutely is.
And Chris asks, how many hours was the entire shoot? I don't know if I remember particular. I think for this one it was maybe like 4 hours or.
Yeah, this one was probably 4 or 5 hours. I think we spent at least 2 hours setting up and another 2 or 3 hours shooting.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Bohemian Rhapsody, that was a 14-hour shoot in that venue, and then another 4 or 5 hours in front of the cyclorama.
But this is
section.
Yeah,
this
is
a quick
much
one.
more free form. Yeah.
because I don't know if you remember when I first showed you this arrangement, I had written up to here. And you said, I feel like it needs a bigger climax. So that's what you're getting right here. I feel like the 20 years of Anderson and Rowe could be maybe whittled down to a simple sentence of 20 years of trying to find a bigger musical climax. We really love climaxes that explode. And we're always searching for what we can do to like hit our audience over the head with a sign of grace.
Yes, I like this video because it almost seems like a precursor to Get Back. I don't know if anyone's watched that. I actually didn't have a chance to watch the entire thing, but you get to see the real interactions of the Beatles with each other. And I think this video gives a nice window into our friendship and what it's like to make these videos together, because it's not just drama. And I mean, a lot of times we're like stressed and trying to get things done in a very focused manner, but a lot of times we're literally laughing and messing around.
Well, thank you, Chris. That actually is the absolute perfect segue to what we're going to watch next.
Yeah.
We are going to show a before we show the next video, number 11, the last one for today, we're going to show just a quick behind the scenes, which I think, like the Get Back documentary, it's much briefer, only a minute or two, a couple minutes, but you get a real sense of what our rehearsal is like. People just imagine, other musicians anyway, like imagine that I don't know, ensembles are fighting the whole time, and you'll see what we are actually like.
Should I reveal what number 11 is?
Yeah, I think that's,
okay.
Yeah, now's the time.
All right, so our final video for today's show, number 11, is the Blue Danube Fantasy.
Ooh.
And if you're an OG Anderson Rowe fan, you know this video.
Yes, you probably do. So let's watch a little of the behind the scenes before we watch the video. And this particular sequence is devoted to us just kind of messing up. I mean, this piece is still today. I've played Ligoti's Devil Staircase. I've played Prokofiev's Second Piano Concerto. I've played Gaspard de la Nuit. And this particular piece, the Blue Danube Fantasy, to this day is still the hardest piano piece.
Well, it doesn't help that I'm in the way.
It doesn't. Yeah, there's an entire, but even still, it's just really hard. So here's the behind the scenes bit.
That is a really hard piece. And I will be happy not to play it anytime soon.
Once again. Oh my god. B flat, once more. I'm just starting this here.
I hate this piece. Oh my god.
From here.
Oh my god, I'm like missing.
Liz, it's all your fault. I'm ruining all the shots.
No.
I'm ruining the piece.
That was some of my best playing ever.
Don't you think like harmonies? You're always going fine and then something happens and you mess it up.
This is what we're like when we rehearse.
Be coordinated, Craig.
I can't. Okay.
What are you doing?
I put it one bar too soon.
Okay.
I knew I was.
The score is right there.
I'm looking at you. I can't find the note.
So it has a kiss.
Can we do that again?
Sure.
Sorry.
Music.
I want to zoom in.
Hands like
Yes.
combined. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Thing, and then the next one.
So
we'll do
am I
without.
gonna tilt my head this way?
Sure.
Or should I tilt
Yeah.
it?
Okay, we did not actually kiss.
Yeah, we definitely didn't actually. Estelle Foy is on the behind the camera. He's a fabulous cellist and part of the incredible Calidor string quartet.
So musical. Cut.
I think we're gonna see this in the video. Oh.
The passers-by were definitely noticing my glove drop, not knowing that it was intentional. So anyway, for background to the video, we're depicting these two people who fall in love on a bucolic college campus.
Once again,
Which is
a
Yale.
theme for Liz and me. I want to address a couple of the comments before we start watching quickly. Jim Pevleton asks, when these sorts of things happen in live performance, have you learned to continue on? First of all, in live performance, you're more likely to find the two of us in a more focused state. And we don't have cameras on us, which means we can focus all our energies on just playing the piano well rather than trying to look good or something.
Exactly, or hamming it up.
But we also practice a lot, and so we get better and better as we do that. And then quickly, this one I love. Lee Lanier. Schultz, Evler, and Drugs. So Schultz Evler was a pianist 100 years ago who wrote a very fantastical arrangement of Blue Danube waltzes. And Godowsky also did ones, not necessarily actually, I think he did do Blue Danube, but he did lots of the waltzes in like very over-the-top arrangements.
He did Blue Danube.
And it was our task, our motive as we wrote this arrangement to do something that felt like these waltz transcriptions from days gone by, in a way that felt like psychedelic, like we had just like turned the crank a little too high, and we wanted our hands to be dancing. We wanted it to feel like this love didn't just stop at like a nice mild like curtsy. It like went all the way to the max.
And speaking of this is our 20th anniversary celebration. I have many memories of us working on the composition back in our Juilliard days, because this was it the first or was Libertango the first?
No, actually, we wrote Blue Danube before the Libertango.
Yes, because I remember literally, because now we use Sibelius, but I remember the sheets of paper. And like taking notes and then showing it to your teacher, Julian Martin, and he actually told us to edit it. So it actually used to be longer.
It was almost twice as long. There's this big bit in the middle, I think Waltz 4 or 5 from the original, that it's like the whole Tchaikovsky piano concerto.
I remember that part.
Well, let's start watching it and we can...
yeah, it's nice and long.
All right, here it comes.
Graphic.
Ooh. This is the Yale practice room.
Yep.
Whatever.
Your iMovie.
Yeah, iMovie.
graphics.
It was iMovie. Apple iMovie.
See, now I'm like, oh, who is this handsome guy?
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Sorry.
We filmed this the same weekend we filmed Libertango and The Pas de Deux by Barber, all in one weekend. I'm never gonna forget that day.
And this is one of our most watched videos.
Yeah. Using Liz's mom's Sony handheld camera. I wish we had had an iPhone back then.
Yes. Well, I love this shot.
I know, me too. We worked so hard to write something where our hands were dancing. Also, really pianistically challenging. Yes,
Surprisingly
Nicole.
not.
They don't get in Liz's way, they get in my way.
I love that blouse. I think I gave it away. So, no longer have it.
So pianistically difficult, and when we published the arrangement, I had to like simplify it. Scoop on. Okay, and now the
Here we
comedy
go.
begins.
You'll see the glove come into play here.
Oh, has a thirsty look, Liz. Oh.
Did I drop it on purpose? How gallant of you to grab my glove.
Does anyone meet this way anymore? Like,
I don't know.
in
I have
real
to say,
life?
this is like one of my fantasies because I went to Juilliard, which didn't have a real campus. And I always wanted to go to a regular university and have this romance on campus. Didn't
You
happen.
got a really great romance, though. It just didn't happen the way you expected.
But like having coffee at the like campus
local-
cafe.
I mean, were these your ideas? Like, narratively?
I don't know.
And
But I
was
wouldn't
it
be
you living out
surprised.
your fantasy then? Oh, no!
Oh my god.
So we edited out the camera in the corner.
Yes. Oh, our feet are. Oh.
Transition.
Oh, so sweet.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Lena
thank
Chen.
you.
I think Liz is the one with the good acting.
No.
Look at the two of us. We're like, do we have to? Here is the pianistic kiss.
That was
all
very intentional composition.
Join, yeah, compositionally, we join for that note.
And you wanted a very vertiginous camera work there, right? Because
Yeah.
of how virtuosic it is.
With how virtuous, and the music's gonna start. We talked about Schultz on
Psychedelic.
drugs.
Yeah.
It's gonna start hitting a that is aiming for the 11.
Like life flashing before our eyes.
Like that dizzied, heightened state.
And then magically,
And now we're in the full tripped out zone. Is where we kind of push this idea of a waltz arrangement into a new territory. Musically, we're combining as many of the themes as you heard in the prior 5 minutes as possible.
there's an alarm outside. It's the same day.
Oh, in your house.
So many lifts.
And now, musically, literally, all of the waltzes from the Blue Danube waltzes are being played simultaneously in a true Gedausian manner.
So extra. This part is so hard.
So hard.
I can't think of a better way to end today's show.
I kind of want to watch just the absolute very beginning of the outtakes, just because this is how I feel just watching it. But here,
okay, that is a really hard piece, and I will be happy not to play it anytime soon.
I mean, to film that, how many times did we play it? Like 100 times?
Yeah. But I also, it's like seeing, it's so over the top, not only musically, but visually. Like, we just really went for it. And, you know, the part where we do the big lift before the climax?
Where I go behind your back.
Yeah, we're featuring like our outfits and scenes from Libertango and Pas de Deux, because this was like the holy trinity, the first triumvirate of music videos that we
Yeah,
ever
totally.
created. Yeah, that we ever created. And at the end of 2006, we filmed them all over one weekend at Yale.
Mhm.
And that was just a flurry of creativity and silliness and experimentation. So yeah, that's very nostalgic watching that video.
Yeah, there's a lot. It reminds me of like when the pandemic first hit and we like turned
Mhm.
all our attention to the virtual realm and like treated it as an entirely new medium. For us, filming the Blue Guiding Fantasy with Libertango, that was something just entirely new to us. And we just said, well, what can we do if nothing stops us?
That's right. Yes, going out into the brave new world of YouTube.
Yes.
So,
Well, here we are.
all right, we survived part 2 of our Two
Yes.
Piano Tuesday 20th anniversary countdown. You're going to have to join us next Tuesday for videos 10 through 6,
Yes.
right?
Yep. And the only gonna get better,
Yeah, well,
according to us, whatever that means.
but feel free to send us questions or comments. We're going to post a few kind of special things in between today's show and next week. And yeah, we're just kind of in this mood of nostalgia and celebration. So we're so thankful and thrilled that you're joining us. And we can't wait to see you next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be daylight savings time, so don't forget. And 5:30 Pacific. It's going
I
to
think
be nice and
everyone will have
dark.
figured it out by then, hopefully. Yes,
Yes.
dark, and then I'll try and avoid the police interrogation lighting. But it's been a pleasure, and we look forward to next week. Thank you. Oh,
Thank you for joining us.
thank you for joining us, and we'll do our best to answer questions as they come in. All right.
Yes.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
care.